Hey guys, what's going on? This is Serious the Warlock here. I've had some thoughts going through my head recently about Warlock tanking in Battlegrounds, flag carrying if you will. It's not really anything that I'm interested in doing myself personally, but I'm interested in the concept of it, how it would work. And I've been messing around on the PTR for the last couple of days with gems and glyphs and enchants, pretty much so that I don't need to spend any of my gold on live servers. Just so I can maybe quickly grab your attention, when I was able to pop my cooldowns using this method on the PTR, I was able to get my Warlock's health up to 1.2 million health. 1.2 million health for about 20 seconds or so. And off of cooldowns, I'm still running around with almost about 800,000 health. So there's still a lot to be discovered on this because I haven't really used it practically myself. I haven't really done that much tanking in even random battlegrounds to have all the fine details worked out, but I just want to share with you guys what I have discovered, my thoughts and feelings, and my personal preferences on some of the things that I have come across so far. So if you aren't aware, in 5.3, Blizzard changed the mechanics of tanking in battlegrounds. So if you pick up a flag in a battleground and you're in a tank spec, you take 50% additional damage. If you pick up the flag in a battleground and you are not in tank spec, then you take 20% additional damage. This has caused a lot of higher teams to avoid taking a tank at all and just giving it to one of the DPS characters and letting them carry the flag. Now, a lot of times I see this going to Destruction Warlocks because of Ember Tap and how strong it is of a self-heal. I've also seen Demonology a lot, but I believe, and don't hold me to this, but I believe if you take the tanking glyph in Demonology, you count as a tank and start taking 50% additional damage opposed to 20% if you weren't using the glyph. So I'm going to leave spec out of the rest of this discussion because honestly you could go back and forth arguing whether Demonology or Destruction's better, and I can see pros and cons for each one, and I don't feel like Affliction would be a viable option as of right now. Alright, so I'm just going to jump right into this. For gems, I was stacking Solid River's Heart, which is the plus 240 stamina blue gem. For the meta, I was using the Effulgent Primal Diamond, which is the one that gives you plus 324 stam and causes you to take 2% less spell damage. And as you can tell, I completely ignored the gem set bonuses because if I were tanking, I wouldn't care about PvP power or intellect, which is what the set bonuses give you. I would care about staying alive. That's the priority. So for like the helm, you would lose out on 180 PvP power. On the shoulders, you would lose out on 60 intellect. The chest would be 120 PvP power. On the gloves and the waist, you would keep the 60 intellect just because they're blue set. You only need one blue gem. So if you ignore the gem bonuses, you actually end up losing 60 intellect and 360 PvP power, which really isn't that bad, especially now that PvP power is the most unattractive stat that almost any class could have. As far as enchants, to be honest, the only thing that I changed was the plus 300 stam to chest. As far as gear goes, the only thing that I changed was my trinkets. I used 2 PvP trinkets, one of which was the crowd control trinket, the trinket to get you out of crowd control, but the one that has stamina attached to it, and the other one was the on-use trinket that gives you extra health, also has stam on it. So on top of stamina just being the most attractive stat, there's actually a reason for it being the most attractive stat, and it's because as a Warlock, there's a couple abilities that passively increase your health. One of which is if you sacrifice your pet and use Soul Link, you gain 20% more health. Another one is if you use Dark Intent, which gives you 10% more stamina, and the other one's very passive, and that's one Fell Armor, which increases your total health by 10%. So by stacking stamina, it's being multiplied many times by many different abilities, which gives you that huge health pool. Alright, so there's 2 things you can do to increase your health pool, and this is how I got to 1.2 million health. One of which is if you sacrifice your Voidwalker, Command Demon then gives you 30% additional health for 20 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown, and then you also have that trinket that I was just talking about, which gives you almost 74,000 health for 15 seconds, also on a 2-minute cooldown. So if you want, I mean, you could use them separately to put you over 1 million health each, or you could use them together and it would give you over 1.2 million combined. The other thing that I want to point out real quick are spells that you can use to heal yourself. So I'm just going to quickly run through these really fast too. First you have Healthstone, which is percent based, so the more health you have, the more it will heal you for, and it's 40% of your health. You also have Dark Regeneration, which is 30% of your health over 12 seconds. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, but you also get the 25% additional healing done to you for that 12 seconds while it's active. You have Drain Life Channel, which Untalented gives you 2% every second. I haven't really tried Talented yet, but I feel like that might be a good thing to try out too. Mortal Coil is a 15% of your health heal every 45 seconds. Again, percentage based, so the more health you have, the more it's going to heal you for. Then you also have Soul Link, and if the PTR version of Soul Link goes live in 5.4, it's going to give you 3% of your damage back in healing. So that one's not percentage based on your health, it's based on your damage, but still healing is healing, and it helps. And then these two spells really don't heal you, but I might as well add them to the list. Twilight Ward, which is almost an 80k absorb every 30 seconds. And you also have Unending Resolve, which if you don't glyph in 5.4, if that goes through, is a 40% damage reduction for 20 seconds, and it's on a 3-minute cooldown. For macros, I guess there is 2 macros that I want to mention. One is the default Dark Regeneration Hellstone macro. Everyone pretty much uses that on live already. It's cast Dark Regeneration, and then on the next line it's use Hellstone. The other macro that I wanted to bring up, which would only be for this one, would be cast Command Demon, and it would, after you sacrifice your Void Lord, that would increase your health. And then it would also, on the next line would be use, and then I think it's the Grievous Gladiator's Emblem of Tendency. That's the trinket that increases your health, and that I would only use this one if you're like in a dire emergency and you're like, oh shit, I'm probably gonna die, and you want to just pop both abilities at the same time. Otherwise, I might actually recommend popping them individually on their own, because on their own, each of them will give you well over 1 million health, but if you use them together, it'll give you 1.2 million health. And you can also see me using Demonic Leap here. This is another positive thing that you can get if you choose to go the demonology route. So real quick, I also want to go over the talents that I chose, and again, these are the ones that were just common sense to me. So I'm just going to go down the list really quick. I chose Dark Regeneration because it's just too good of a heal. It's too good in oh shit situations where you need it. Harvest Life might be a good alternative. I didn't get to really test that one out, but I feel like it's more important to have that oh shit ability in Dark Regeneration, so I took that one. Mortal Coil is sort of a no-brainer. A 15% heal and a 45-second cooldown. It's pretty good, and again, it's percent based on your health, so the more health you stack, the stronger the heal is going to be. Soul Link, which is what's giving you the that huge health pool when you sacrifice your pet, is of course mandatory, but it's only going to get better if 5.4 goes live, and in its current state, as you do damage passively, you'll get healed. So you don't have to really worry about putting out too much damage, but the little bit of damage that you do put out will just add some extra heals. Burning Rush, I feel like, is definitely needed, especially for trying to get the flag back to your base or trying to escape, because remember, you can't be slowed below 100% run speed. But again, it also makes it really good at just running back to your base or trying to get somewhere quickly when you can't mount. And then last, of course, you have a Sacrifice Pet, which is mandatory in order to get that huge health pool again. And I would choose the Sacrifice the Voidwalker, just because Command Demon then turns into an ability that increases your health pool, which it comes in like very handy in oh shit circumstances. The last talent, to be honest, I really haven't decided yet, and they keep changing around things every couple minutes, so I really haven't decided on what that would be yet. Finally, just to wrap this up, like I said in the beginning, I'm not really interested in doing this too much myself. I thought it was a very interesting concept and something I just wanted to talk about with you guys. If any of you guys have actually done this or want to take it even further, by all means go for it and start a conversation with me about it. I'd be really interested in hearing your feedback and seeing where you've taken it, if you have, or if you have any other thoughts and you haven't done it yet, just leave them in the comments or send me a message on my Facebook page and I'll get back to you. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you really like this video, make sure you're subscribed to me and check out my other videos. It would really mean a lot to me and help me out a lot if everyone that watched my videos subscribed. And I'll talk to you again really soon. Take care, guys.